Executive Mayor, greetings to Acting MM, Dr. Ralph Links, the Deputy Executive Mayor, to the Chair of MPEC, Councillor Sethi, the CFO, greetings to the Director of Community Services. I don't know whether, or I've been told that Councillor Olivier is online. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, Speaker, I am.
Wonderful. You've got a nice voice, a sweet voice.
I'm a sweet person, Speaker.
Councillors, this is a special council meeting this day of the 7th of March. Then the order of business is as follows. The opening, then I'm opening the meeting. Our culture, then when we open a meeting to speak to our Almighty, the Heavenly Father, will allow councillors and the directors together with the staff to silently have a conversation with the Almighty. We can bow our head. Thank you. Number 2, the order of business. I believe the attendance register is circulating. Number 3, councillors, the declaration. Oh, there's no, number 2, there's no, number 3, there's no application for leave of absence. All councillors are present, including Councillor Olivier online. Number 4 is the declaration of interest. Is there any declaration, councillors, who has been given gifts? You must declare if they are more than quantified. So there are no declaration. Number 5, confirmation of minutes for previous meetings opened, none. Number 6 is statements and communication by the Executive Mayor.
Speaker.
Yes, over to you, Executive. Executive Mayor, I will introduce the acting MM to council officially today. Dr. Links, Ralph Links. If councillors, the old guard, will recall that Dr. Links was one of the staff members in the 2007, 08, 09. He has served this municipality. And I believe he was in the Department of Local Economic Development. It was vibrant that time. I can recall I was not even a councillor then, but I knew him. I was an activist outside, and I knew him. So it says a lot that you know officials while you are outside the system. Dr. Lynch, we welcome you to this institution. You came back as a big gun because you've got vast experience about local government. Then therefore, we would like to welcome you, and we know that you are going to assist us greatly in serving the poor of the poorest in this town. This town is a great town. It's loving people. But the problem that we are having in this town, there is a gap between the residents of this town. There's a gap between the rich and the poor. We want them to close that gap so that the poor of the poorest can also benefit in what we will deliver through your leadership in administration. We'll give you our utmost support so that you can implement the decisions of council without any hindrance. But as councillors in these chambers, our sole mandate, as voted by the masses out there, they want proper service delivery. We don't want this town to have challenges of water, to have challenges of sewerage systems that are blown up, and people living in squalor. We don't want that. At all times, even if we don't sleep that day, where there is an outbreak of sewer, where we've got a problem with electricity, we need to join hands together. And you drive it because you will be leading the administration. With those words, Doctor, we welcome you. You must take your jacket, hang it up there in your office, and work with us. Thank you very much. Councillors, point number 7, there are no presentations. Yes, Councillor Mklan.
For the doctor to know all of us, I will request that we introduce so that he knows councillors.
Okay, that's a good thing also. I don't want Councillor Dave Schwartz to sneak in the corners and introduce himself.
Delight of that.
We'll start with you, Dave.
Thank you, Speaker. It's Dave Swart, Councillor for Ward 2.
Mavis Bosakwe, PR.
O'Neill, PR Councillor.
Jessica, come on one.
Councillor PR Councillor. Councillor Seti, Ward Councillor, and the newly appointed MP Chair.
Chamela Mshana, Ward Councillor of Ward 3, and Pine and member.
Councillor Mitchell, PR councillor for the PA, youngest one in the council.
Nokuzola Kolapi, Deputy Mayor of the Council from the IPM organization. I'm deployed here.
Councillor Clothar Blanche from 4A Bosch.
Councillor, can I speak, Speaker?
Yes,
Councillor
yes,
Annelies
ma'am.
Olivier, Councillor Annelies Olivier, DA Councillor, Ward 7.
Hulle het damal reg gemaak aan Kansu.
Hoe sê my jy?
Hy het damal reg gemaak aan Kansu.
Wat 'n dam.
Hy het reg, Councillor.
Ons het 'n paar damme in Kranshoek.
I don't want to use my hammer, Councillor over here. I have learned from you. I'm Councillor Kabai, the Speaker of Council.
Councillor Sam Manaba. The five councillor, and the wing of councillor.
These are the councillors, MM. We are 13 councillors. Right. Item number 8, item for information, which have been dealt with by the executive mayor in terms of delegated authority, none. Item number 9, noting of outstanding partially implemented council resolutions, 9, none. Number 10, consideration of reports of non-delegated matters circulated herewith. Councillors, now I'm moving to the agenda that we are dealing with it today. Section 1, Office of the Municipal Manager. Item number, can you read it for me?
Starting with item number C/1/207/03/24. Appointment of Acting Director, Corporate Services for the period 8 March 2024 until 7 June 2024, starting on page 8.
Right. I would like all the directors to recuse us.
One nation.
No, only those ones for corporate.
Interest parties. LGC men, luister naman.
Dit is director.
We have interest.
Aso ko what it's sabi na is na.
Oh, those with interest. Councillors, the item is serving. Councillor Michel.
Thank you, Speaker. Through you to the MM Speaker. I want to propose that Mr. Nam to continue to act as the Director of Corporate Service. But I just want to change the recommendation. It states for 3 months, but we want him just only for acting for 1 month. That's my proposal.
Kenda. Councillor City. Any counter proposal? None. Have you captured it? Can call. Councillors, we are picking up something here in this item. Can again, all those candidates to refuse us again.
Crowds needs the exercise. And
That's not correct. That's not correct.
kom ek gevra dat daar die proposal. Ek het gister aanneem, né? Waar is die development section?
As far as.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inflation says.
Yeah, I was gonna say, something would cut that, unless I lost it.
Kom gevra dat ek wil, dis nie
Councillor Mhlanga?
Speaker, can we request for a caucus of 10 minutes?
Five, Councillor. I grant to 5 minutes. Yes.
Right.
much, Speaker, for the 5 minutes. On the item, we understand the item is closed, but we have noticed something that in the last meeting, we were not sure about. So we'll seek clarity from the acting MM because Mr. Namtu has not finished his MMCL credit. So we want to find out whether he's eligible to act in that position. So that's the advice that we are seeking.
Thank you, Speaker. And over and above that, we do understand that the requirements are quite clear when we are actually advertising the position or filling the position that a person must have at least an experience of 5 years within within that space, and he has got 4 years. But I still maintain that if we're going to be tied where experience is concerned, then we'll be left with a situation where we can't really allow our internal staff to actually exercise in these positions so that we are able to actually uplift them while at it. So as it was previously alluded to that this is reduced from 3 months to just 1 month. So I do not think it will be an issue, or it would be a risk rather. However, we have officials with us, which is the accounting officer, and as well as the legal manager to actually guide us on that. But I'm still comfortable with the decision that the council is actually taking and this, the direction it's actually heading at. However, I think at this point it would be just and sober of us to hear from the accounting officer as well as the legal manager where this is concerned. Oh yeah, the legal manager is out. The accounting officer then.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think the candidates that is presented is the candidate nominated and seconded is Namtu, and Mr. Namtu falls short of the 5 years matter management experience, and that's I think that's the decision that council is to make. The regulation says it must be minimum 5 years matter management experience, but he has got 4. I don't know what was the resolution before. So that will be because he has acted in that position. He has acted in that position, so I think maybe it makes also the input that council Sakelo is raised. I think it's for council to decide. I think these are the candidates that we've identified internally, and they are qualifying in terms of that. I think it's only 2 on that list that is maybe falling short. It's the Timsy. He's got NPM level 6, and then the Lampu has got 1 year short. Yeah, that is all what the regulation is saying. I wouldn't say I am not. The regulation do talk about the completion of your MMC. It's a 3. I think it's a 1 month arrangement, so that could be understood in that way.
Yes, Councillor. Yes, correct.
Thank you. I will not be leader for legal services, but I think I had a number of years doing this organization. Now, the only what council must consider, and I've just checked with the CFO, when it comes to the MMCL qualifications, you cannot exercise financial delegations if you don't have the MMCL qualification. Now, the risk for council in that is if Mr. Namtu if the AG picks it up, that there has been the exercise of financial delegations over the threshold for managers, it could potentially be an irregular expenditure. Similarly, if you have someone that serves on the BAC, I think National Treasury CFO is recently, that is why Director Felton had to act for me when I was on leave in December because none of the managers in community services possessed the academic qualifications to be able to act. And Treasury is very strict on the BAC when whether or not we have been correct, so we could potentially say that we were fine. But if we have to need the acting director for corporate services to be correct, we might sit with a problem with the BAC in the exercise of that financial delegations. So council should just consider that in making the decision.
Yes, DM.
Thank you, Speaker. Some of these things, they really disturb. We were here when we appointed Mr. Namtu from the same organization when a legal person was saying the other people that was there other than Mrs. Veldeman, we can even ask from the MEC to low down our expectations of the requirements. That was legally given that advice in front of us all so that we can take Mr. Namtu. These other opinions were not stated then, that when he comes to this kind of a position with BACs and everything, were not said to us then, so that we can even consider wisely when we think. Same when it comes to MMCL, because people can be appointed without MMCL and be given 18 months to make sure to do things. Because it's not so much of a prerogative when somebody is being appointed. I hear now what is being said there, that it's all about finances and everything. But as I'm saying here, that these things really, they make us to feel as if we are stupid enough not to do it. We are not administrators. We depend on administrators to advise this council so that we can do things right. So for me, I will always say, how about we continue? Because we are even here in the bush with the thing of with manager Veldeman. Because at some stage there was a case that she has finished her 3 months acting. Again, there was a case that no, there was 1 month short and everything else. So still, it was something that then the municipal manager was supposed to call and write something and correct us and give us a guidance as per does Mrs. Veldeman can act another month or not. Hence, we felt we came for Mr. Namtu because then we were having Mrs. Veldeman. Now again, we're bringing Mr. Namtu. Now ideas are coming that Mr. Namtu may not be right because of that and that and that. So what I'm here, I'm just saying, how about we let this to say, now that we've got a new municipal manager, I'm sure who will be willing to assist us is to write for the MEC and inquire so that the advice that we're given by Mr. Krausch to say we can write and ask for the person to be equal, requirements can be waived a bit. It's a year that he doesn't have 5 years of requirements. Again, it's only a month that we're putting. Hence, we even changed the 3 months to 1 month because exactly we're looking at these things that we might get a surprise that can make us, 3 months can make us that we've transgressed in a space of 3 months. Hence, we said, let's take it for a month so that we can see, because administratively so, we didn't get advice as per that can make us to be confident as we sitting here. I thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Michelle.
Thank you, Speaker. First of all, I just want to support the proposal of our DP. Secondly, I just want to ask if it's possible that Mr. Krausch can come back in and advise us on this item. Reason why is that, guys, that names are being tabled in our agenda. That they know we're going to take to council. And if a legal person sits with our agenda, put names on and don't advise us that you can't take this person, and give us a reason to go out, to look outside. I just want us to, if possible, bring Mr. Krausch in, advise us on that, so that if you advise us on this name of Mr. Namtu, if it's fine, then we can go. Then we can go with the recommendation that I proposed first time, Mr. Namtu.
Councillors, I've opened it up because I want really to dwell about this. You see, Gone are the days where you raise your hand, propose, and second, it's closed, whether it's wrong or right. So that is why I'm opening up so that we can come up with solutions. Councillor,
Thank you, Speaker. And also you must flexible and look at both sides, because my hand is up before Councillor Michelle. Yes. So I also wanted to say, they almost say what I wanted to say, the both of them, the Deputy Mayor and Councillor Michelle, that now we are on a stage where we are confused because we got now two legal opinions. And then I think let we go with that proposal of Councillor Michelle. We call Mr. Krauts in so that he can also now, because this is now a new thing that is coming up about the MNCL, so that he can give us advice, because we can't rely on director, because most is not a legal advice. So we can't say now as this council we go with the opinion of director. She's just trying to help us, but I think let us call Mr. Krauts, because really now it looks like we were given a wrong advice, or we were not correctly advised. So, and also Mr. Namdu has acted for 1 month.
Yes.
And then nothing happened in that 1 month. And also now we want to extend only for 1 month, not for 3 months. So he must advise us according to that.
let's call.
While he's coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Speaker. Just, my thing here this morning is just to say that I don't want any councillor to feel bad on this. Because the reason being, if you look back a month ago, it was this time around, if you look at the recommendation, there was no name this time around. But a month ago, there was a name identified already. Therefore, as this council, we were sitting knowingly or trusting the recommendation that was on screen. Now it comes a month later to find out the recommendation that we supported to say that the person that was identified can continue. Now we sit here squabbling, that's what I said to the councils. The thing of the 3 months that's been going on now, it's very scary, because each time when we try to appoint for a 3 months period, together with the recommendation, we don't have a previous letter that's stating from the MEC. You see, we always come here and then we don't have previous letters on screen as well stating, guys, on October 2023, the following recommendations came from MEC. So therefore be wary of this person. That is why I'm saying I don't want us to feel too bad. As much as advice is coming, we will listen to the advice and act in the best possible.
Let's allow Councillor Michelle.
Thank you, Speaker. Yeah, I just want to ask if Mr. Krauts going to take us through, let it take us through the names that is there on that list now, so that we know
all of them.
who's valid to be acting or not, because we are being giving names now, and as we said now, it's a problem on this one. So let it take us through all the names that is listed in the agenda, please. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Mangma.
Thank you, Speaker. Before we get to the legal advice, it must be duly noted that Alan Krauts is actually not in the pool of people that we should be considering, because he made it clear that he's actually not interested. Hence, we are actually pulling him in now for advice. To that, MC does not meet the requirements because he's sitting on NQF level 6. Now, people we are left with is Tanya Veldman and Mr. Hansen. Now, I must remind this council that when we're trying to appoint in that role, the reason why we couldn't take Mr. Veldman in this meeting, it was purely because she didn't have the necessary experience. However, we made a decision to actually put her on acting because we were cognizant of the fact that we want to actually develop people from the inside, which then brings me to the conversation on the table now, where Namtu is concerned. Namtu has a gap of 1 year. Let's forget about NQ, the Because we know with MMCL, once you assume a position, you have a grace period of 18 months for you to actually get there, to attain that. So let's just not confuse us by making that part of the requirements at the moment. Let's focus on the fact that Mr. Namtu is actually falling short of a year. Now, this is not a municipality that is operating without an accounting office. Mr. Namtu will have somebody he actually reports to. This is somebody who's well educated and who's going to ensure that there's checks and balances in anything and everything that happens in that office. Now, question is that I'm bringing to council, would it be such a risk of all risks that we allow Namtu to act for a month? Given the fact that, a previous month when we did not have any name on the table, a name that was brought on the table as somebody that meets the requirements was Mr. Namtu. To a point, we were advised to actually have the accounting officer apply for a waiver, is it section 56? Whatever that number is, to the embassy to actually waive those additional requirements over and above that NQF level, because he has the NQF level. Now, at this point, Speaker, I would ask Mr. Alan Crouch to actually guide us here, because really it is embarrassing that we sit in council thinking we've been guided in terms of what we need to, what decision we need to make, and here we are sitting and wondering.
Okay. Before that,
Speaker, you can.
Okay.
Speak up. Good morning, councillors. I want to know what exactly it's been actually that the advice is needed on this. This get granted on this one.
Yes, the councillor.
Yes, very. Can we then ask the director to give that advice so that Mr. Crouch can hear what she was saying? Because this is not going to work according to our feelings. There are legislative requirements on this matter. So our feeling is not going to work. And two, legal was supposed to have advised us on this matter, because we were sitting with the same matter even in the previous meeting. So can the director, community services, raise what she raised so that we get from legal?
Let's zoom in straight to Mr. Namtu. Yes, is the bone foundation.
Mr. Kraus, the question that was raised from the councillors pertained to the CV of Mr. Namtu. Firstly, and that portion of the question was responded to by the requirements of 5 years middle management, where Mr. Namtu's CV indicates that there is 4 years middle management. And secondly, that there are outstanding modules on the MMCL. And if you look at the MFMA and the MMC regulations, whether or not those would be an issue. My opinion, and I won't say my opinion, I just advise council when they take a decision to consider that. And if they have considered it and still proceeded with the matter, it is a fact that they have considered. And that is what I was advising, that they take cognizance of the MMCL requirements as part of their decision making. Now, the question is still on in terms of section 56, whether or not the 4 years middle management instead of the 5 years middle management would bar council from appointing Mr. Namtu as acting, firstly, and secondly, why they were allowed in the previous time to appoint Mr. Namtu, because he has been acting currently. Speaker, did I capture?
Yes, you did. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think we did consider it last time. Section 56, 1A now allows the council to apply for a waiver to the minister on the requirement in terms of the competencies, qualifications, all that. If council is considered and made a decision, what has to happen is that we have to make an application to the minister, it's a national minister, for a waiver and motivate why council has made that decision to appoint that person. It's correct. The regulations and the act does stipulate what exactly the qualifications, period, or required of the person acting in that position. But yeah, despite that, the act now do allow you to make an application for it. That didn't exist before. I think I gave that advice the last time in the last meeting.
Councillor Mhlanga?
Yeah, I don't want to blame anyone, but in the last meeting, we established that a waiver must be applied. So it was not done. So we are going to appoint Mr. Namd and request that that waiver be requested from the MEC. Because remember, MEC speaks about legislation, not how we feel about a certain individual. So we go with the recommendation of Mr. Namdu and that the administration must write to the MC. Thanks,
Councillor Michelle?
I just want to second the proposal, Mr. Mbella.
Let it be noted on the recommendation.
It's correctly councillor. It's not to the ABC. To the minister. Yeah.
The Minister Cocter, national.
Or not the MC. We call them names.
Okay, thank you very much, Speaker. Okay. This morning, I had a thorough discussion on items. Because if you take the exact item is confusing. Because the item tells you the person has got 4 years experience, but he's got 20 years of management experience. So what is the real fact of the thing? So I didn't want to say that in the beginning. I didn't want to say that, but I had a discussion on how I would think the item should look like. Second of all, it is not right to put the people's names in their information within the item. If there is a requirement for an annexure, let us put the CV of the person if he makes himself available to be selected for a particular person. Then the information is displayed to all who are making the decision. So that's the crux of the item. To make a summary of whatever, because it is for council in any case to decide who they would like to appoint and for what duration based on the principles of what is in the regulations. And so I think that's the one thing that I would like to say. So I did not know how the council operated, but I know for a fact how I would want the items to come to council, specifically if it comes under my name. Because remember, when the item is here, it's my item. I cannot distance me from the item. I want to take responsibility, but I want to take responsibility for the content of the item. I cannot come here and then distance me from the content of the item. I would like to do that. So I can give council that comfort that we will not have an item again here that are confusing council. Because I would understand where the emotions will go to if we are presenting to council different opinions. Okay. So the understanding would be that when the item comes here, it is our item as administration. So the item cannot now be debated amongst us in terms of what is the law and what is not the law. So that is my understanding of that. So I just wanted to clarify that to council in terms of the items. So there will be, in this meeting, there will be items there, or there is items there that I am uncomfortable. But I could not fix it before the meeting. But we will definitely not have this situation again. It's for us to provide information and provide advice at this point of time, and that advice either could be considered by council and could not consider. So when council consider an item, you must always bear in mind what would be the risk. Once you've assessed that risk, then you, if you're uncomfortable, you ask for advice. You've got the advice, then you still maintain to take the decision, whatever that decision is. And so I think the speaker has allowed a lot of discussions, which is good about the item, but also I must apologize. I must apologize to the accounting officer that the item came here, which is confusing to the reader who reads the item. And that I apologize, Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MM. We need these kinds of debates. We will learn it today because I don't want to talk about the past. Let me rather move forward. Councillor Michelle, you seconded, not so?
I will second it.
All right, you've captured that. Okay, you can call it. Thank you very much for your patience. Well, the man, you can move on to the next item. Thank you, MM.
Item C/1/208/03/24. Secondment of Dr. Ralphlins to act as municipal manager at Bitou municipality in terms of a secondment agreement entered with Peru District Municipality, page 40.
The item is serving. Executive Mayor.
Speaker, thank you. Yes, this item is stated previously, we entered into agreement with the Central Tower. So therefore, we have brought this item to council. Council, take note, for everybody to see what has been stepped in the agreement. I would like the legal department just to share some few small matters around this. But the agreement has been entered into.
Over to Mr. Ram.
Speaker, what we picked up, the secondment agreement was drafted by district municipality was. What we later picked up, that there are mistakes on the agreement, and it's corrections that can be made. Not a huge issue, but we just have to make clear. Actually, to sure that each party knows exactly what the obligations are. Agreement that is now before council is not final one. We've seen the agreement back to the district, correct it, sign it, and then return it to us. So at the next council meeting, the speaker will be able to submit the correct amended agreement to council. So the one now is just for noting that is this agreement that is not correct. Thank you. Yeah.
Councillor Michelle.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to second item that the mayor proposed with the advice of legal department.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. Mr. Crouch, thank you so much about that, because really we're here to look at those loopholes. We need things to be done correctly. We don't want anything that is going to be questionable. I'm saying again, one of those days of proposing and seconding the item. Councillor Mtana and the DM.
Just to bring this to your attention, Speaker, I think we must go back to culture of, because the MM is correct here. When an item comes here, it's an item of the administration. Let's go back to the culture where legal comments the item. Not only comment here and we all get confused. Because when they comment on the item and when we read the item, we will know what is their standing. And when it comes to the item. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Mr.
When you read the recommendation of the executive, it says that council take cognizance of the secondment of Dr. Ralph Ronald Links, the Director Corporate and Strategic Services to Bitou Municipal as acting municipality manager for a period of 3 months, ending 30 June. Should we not change that recommendation? Because right now we've taken a decision that the Director of Corporate Services should act for 1 month. So I'm just bringing the council to that, or do I understand it wrong?
Director there.
Eh?
It's the director there of corporate service.
Yeah, I think, Speaker, if I could assist, it is correct. If I could just assist, maybe the administration should just add the Director Corporate and Strategic Services of the Central Karoo District Municipality.
Oh,
In the item is correct.
okay.
You captured that?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, like this,
Well,
like this council,
all the MM,
loving this council. I'm learning a lot now. I'm loving this open sessions and that things.
that's what we are here for. You must go out here capacitated.
I want to return as Mr. Ralph Links. Yeah, also want to return like Mr. Ralph Links.
Councillors, we go to section 2. There are no items for information. In section 3, corporate services, the item number,
Item number C/3/169/03/24, review of nominations of councillor representatives to Salga Provincial Working Groups, page 26.
item is 7. Councillor Michelle,
Propose that we go with the recommendations. Okay.
second, Councillor Mhlan. Thank you. Next item,
Last item, item C/3/170/03/24, placement of representative to the Garden Route District Municipality, page 30.
item is 7. Councillor Mhlan,
Yeah, I think just we go with the recommendations, Chair, speakers. Maybe just for democracy, we're not supposed to put the name of the councillor there. Maybe other councillors would have a contrary view, but it's fine. Go with the recommendation.
Councillor Michelle,
Second, Chair.
councillors, section 4. No items for information. Section 5, engineering services, no items for information. Section 6, economic development and planning, no items for information. Then therefore, order of business, agent matter submitted by the municipal manager, none received. 12, consideration of notice of motions, none received. 13, consideration of notices of question, none received. 14, consideration of motions of exigency, none received. In committee matters, confirmation of minutes in committee, none. 10.2, consideration of in-committee reports, non-delegated matters, none. 16, the recording of councillors. You may record yourself.